Okay, hi everyone. I think we're recording. Pardon my wet hair. I just got out of the pool. I swim as much as I can during the week. Anyway, let me give you some feedback on where we're at in terms of the Keystone. I'll try to do as much as I can. I do have an appointment in about 20 minutes, so I'm going to try to knock this out. I noticed that about 7 people had looked at the first video. I'm hoping that's everyone who was not at the meeting. I mean, I'm doing these videos to catch everybody up. So let's keep that going. Let's see. Let me share my screen and give you some feedback on where we're at. So I'll just go to the main site here, and then I see KU Homecoming Spirit. This is terrific. I see an article written by Victoria. That's terrific, and a photo here by Victoria, and another one by Abby. That's good. Abby, if you want to complete your author biography, you can do that. If you're taking pictures, that's fine. So here's what I'm seeing. This is in good shape. It's got links and all the things that we've been talking about. Great. Um, but here's the angle that can be brought around. So it says after a full week of hype, KU homecoming football game at Andre Reed Stadium, KU Golden Bears played against Lock Haven's Bald Eagles. And then later you say the football game began at 3 o'clock and you talk about Camillo's, but nowhere here does it give the score of the game. So that's easy enough. Like as at the very, you could just add one last sentence at the end and say that the Golden Bears knocked off, what is it, the Eagles, right? The Bald Eagles by a score of blah, blah, blah. So then you mention football at the beginning, in the middle, and the end, and it rounds it all out. Otherwise, I'm reading this and right, I mean, you've got me interested, but it needs to reach closure. Okay. The headline could also be a better headline. I mean, KU homecoming captures campus spirit or something like that. Homecoming captures KU spirit, something like that. And then day of festivities, that's fine too. And then take care of the football score, please. And we can do that after the fact. That's fine. Okay, so that's feedback on that. The hocus pocus, I was a little confused by the headline. I believe that Alex is reviewing Hocus Pocus 2. Although I did read the article and it said I did a Hocus Pocus double movie marathon with my mother. That's fine, but the review, as I understand it, is Hocus Pocus 2. So I see the cleverness here in the Double Trouble movie feature review, but it was unclear to me what is being reviewed. Is it both movies? Is the second movie called Double Trouble? I don't think it is. So clarity, clarity, clarity. This is unclear to me. Movie review, okay, and on it goes. Feel free when you get long paragraphs like this to break them up. I mean, this can easily be 2, maybe 3 paragraphs. I know that this is the way that Alex wrote it, but we're converting it to journalistic style, particularly when people are looking, on their phones. This paragraph here, I mean, when somebody looks at that on their phone, it's going to be monstrously long. So go ahead, Molly, and go in there and just pick a point that take on. I'm just trying to find the film begins. I mean, that's an easy spot there. And then maybe the other paragraphs are fine. They're a little long. Maybe break this one, unfortunately, here. So those two, and just redo that. And then also, this piece of artwork was designed by Kate, right? So that needs to have credit there. So it just needs to have a caption saying artwork designed by Kate North. And that's that. Okay. And keep hearing fitness court. Did I have any thoughts on this? There are no links. It'd be nice to have a link, right? There is a Keith Haring or the fitness court. Vincent's got the photo credit. That's good. I think that. Oh yeah. The other thing, then this is what brought me here, is Keith Haring Fitness Court opens. Now, again, when we do workshops in the spring, I'll talk more about constructing headlines and subheads. It needs to have a verb in the world of journalism. Keith Haring Fitness Court opens, or dedicated. We've got the word dedicated here. Just say opens. Easy stuff. And then we change these other things. Good. Let me go to D2L then for this class. It should be here. Okay, so then let me cover a couple of things here. And again, I'm trying to keep this short. I'm about to cover what we discussed at our meeting last week, but let me just scroll down the page. So, it's my world these days is all about publishing. That's what I'm trying to teach. make myself a cup of tea. So Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, there's information here for any of you that are interested, and you can. I am bringing myself up to speed on this, but you can make money doing this, presumably, and it's direct to Kindle. So that's something that we can discuss. You can click on the link. I don't know if we're going to have time to do it this semester. Maybe we can push it in the next semester. There are also WordPress webinars. And, I've been teaching WordPress in all my classes, and I'm going to begin encouraging Keystone writers and anybody who's looking to do a blog and to build a writing portfolio, to create your own WordPress site. So they have webinars, and I just want to bring your attention to that. We are in the process of subscribing to the WordPress business plan. So Caitlin has been working on getting the funding, and I've approved it. So hopefully that will all happen. So here's our agenda then for the last meeting. Let me zoom into that. We welcome Fern as a new writer. Michael suggested that the staff photo, that everybody submit a photo of themselves, and then we have Kate go ahead and combine them in Photoshop in a fun type thing. It will be nice. We also talked about elections, and here's where we're landing on that. My advice to the group is that we used to have it that everybody would have to reapply for the next semester, but those days are gone. For a variety of reasons I'm not going to go into now. But in order to maintain continuity, what I'm going to approve, and everybody seemed to be on board with, is everybody who is currently serving submits a letter of intent to continue your employment into next semester. And it's all right here. Dear Michael Alberto, I intend to continue my role as whatever that is for spring term 2023. If you have questions, please let me know. And that's it. And Michael will put these together, excuse me, and then submit the slate to the board, and you can have a discussion, and then you can vote. And if everybody's approved, then we move forward like that. And then in the spring, we'll have elections for fall. We've got to have elections. We just can't keep appointing people, but we can do it for the academic year. So please take care of that. I made it clear to everybody that the Keystone office is available as a study room if you ever need that. We talked about branding, and we talked about some of this stuff here. So part of what was happening is the YouTube channel is called Keeping Up with the Keystone, and I see the cleverness in it, but branding, right? I've been in so many rooms over the years where they talk about branding, and that's not the wisest thing for us, because if somebody goes to YouTube, they are going to search for the Keystone newspaper, not Keeping Up with the Keystone. And why are you diluting your brand with a reference to the Kardashians? I know it's clever, but you're diluting your brand. We also have a podcast now, and that was called Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but we had a conversation, and we are going to call that the Keystone Newspaper Podcast, which is an umbrella for anyone on staff, and anybody, any writers that may want to go into KUR and record something then. And we've published things on that. So the branding stuff we've worked out. And then finally, as it's attached to that is, I've been wrestling back and forth with the Keystone Newspaper Student Publishing Group, and how do we do that, and how do we create the banner and the logo and all that. Here's where we are calling this the Keystone, or the Keystone Newspaper, and the rest of that, the alphabet soup, can go sort of in the technical or the legal language that sits behind the newspaper, or in the masthead. We don't need to worry too much about that. So, Kate, if you can either schedule an appointment with me or work up some artwork where it's simplified and it just says the Keystone Newspaper, you don't need to work that additional language of student publishing group or anything like that into it. And we also talked about we do not want to surrender our spot as the student newspaper, and it's always been the Keystone. So the Keystone Newspaper seems to be our best bet. We're going to continue our push to publish academic articles, and maybe there's some things that I've been working on that may find their way in. I've been working on my blog, and I published something recently called Creatures of Light. Well, I republished it. I wrote it about 10 years ago. Creatures of Light: The Relation of Humans to Light. So maybe we can pull that in. And I've been working on something else as well, related to silicon becoming sentient and using humans as a host, and how bound we are to silicon all the time, whether it's our phones or screens or all of that stuff, the internet. Yeah. Where am I at then? Here. I did present at a conference on all of the things that we are doing at the Keystone. There was interest. People asked if I would share the QR code from the for the Zoom link across the state at the 14 PASHI institutions. So I did that. And another person said that they're wondering how we have done X, Y, and Z, and would I be available for a conversation? I said, absolutely. So they said that they would be reaching out. So in many ways, what I'm telling you is we are on the leading edge of a lot of things that are happening in the world of college newspaper multimedia publishing. So that's good. Keep that in mind. We're going to be going through English 100. I have two sections of that. We're going to be looking more closely at their individual articles that they've been writing, which is going to be a mixed bag of things. But I intend to start identifying. It's like that one is good. That one is good. You should submit it to the Keystone. So this stuff, hopefully, I have like 50 students in those two sections, and then there's technical writing, and there may be students in that as well. So I'm not saying you're going to get 75 submissions, but you may get 10, 15, something like that. So please be ready. We've got the copy editor advertisement closes tomorrow. So then I'll take all those materials, I'll send them to Michael. The sooner y'all can approve a new person, we can make the hire, we'll get another copy editor. And now is the time to publish, if you get those things. And then, keep up with the regular work of the publishing, daily articles on the newspaper. There's the new copy editor. Last week's agenda for old business. Did everyone watch my video from last week? If not, please do. Wednesday, we had Justin Schweitzer, former Keystone editor. And Justin was great. Gave a lot of good advice and provided some background. Eva's QR code, we have that. Then it comes down to some individual stuff. So Sophia, please talk to me about the holiday party, recruitment, and promotions. Maybe it's time for you to schedule an appointment with me so that we can sit down and talk about these things. It's kind of more complicated than through email. So please make an appointment. Michael and I are going to meet in person after Thanksgiving to assess the fall term and set goals for spring. If any of you have ideas, then send either one of us an email and we can add it to our conversation. Katie, let's talk about logo redesign. If you want to meet with me, that's fine. Otherwise, if you want to send me more, and again, I'm not trying to give you the runaround. It's just we're trying to sort through this identity shift that we've been working through. Connor talked about the pod. So we have the podcast now, Keystone Newspaper Podcast. And so Connor can do one related to sports, and Abby can do one related to clubs, and others can do them if you're interested. Talk to Abby. Vincent, I just had the idea here of, if I'm not sure what your career goals are, but if they're related to photography, one of the ways that you can bolster your resume is to begin contributing images to Wikimedia Commons and the whole idea of open source materials. Molly is calling for author bios. And Molly and I also need to have a conversation related to goals for the website. That's kind of ongoing. But right now, for all y'all, it's author bios. Caitlin has followed through on the WordPress upgrade, and when that is happening, we've got the Herring article, the job, reviewing the website. I've been doing that on an ongoing basis. Lots of progress. We have made an immense amount of progress in 9 weeks, and then we went around the horn for individual reports. Next term, we're talking about. I suggested Monday meetings that got shut down by 3 or 4 people because of schedule. So maybe Tuesday. And then I'm talking about workshops every other week in RL17. I don't know that I can continue to do weekly things. It's hard every single week. So that's what I have in mind. And my schedule next semester is 2 journalism and 1 sports writing. And I'm going to be having them cover stuff and submit to the Keystone left and right. Here's the QR code for the speaker sessions. And there's that. And there's some statistics from the web. We've been going up and down. Currently kind of down. But we're doing pretty good overall. Okay, back to me. That's it. Thanks very much. See you Monday. Have a good weekend. I need a day off. Last week was rough because Thursday I drove to Westchester and then conferenced all weekend. Got back Sunday, had barely any time, and then was back at it on Monday. So I'm looking forward to a weekend. All right, that's it. See ya.